Good morning. This is Rashad Mitchell coming to you live from my YouTube channel as I continue on my part series, The Week That Was College Football History Review. This is the conclusion of the season for 1962. So let's get started. November 22nd to November 24th, 1962. Then I'm going to get into December 1st. Then get into the bowl game. Basically, I'm going to get into talk about the Cotton Bowl, like some of the scores. Then get into the game of the year and the Rose Bowl and go over all the stats and stuff like that. And keep it moving. So let's get into it. On Thanksgiving, Texas beat Texas A&M 13-3. It took a while, but Texas wrapped up its best season in 39 years in Cotton Bowl invitation with win over rival Aggies. Playing effectively, Texas A&M scored in the first quarter on kicker Mike Clark's 20-yard field goal, but really could have run away early had it been able to convert its advance, ended on downs at Longhorn's 6-yard line. And Clark missed a 24-yard field goal. Although Texas easily outdistanced A&M with 292 yards to 170 yards, Longhorns struggled to reach the end zone until Coach Darrell Royal turned to third-string quarterback Johnny Janun to start fourth quarter. Janun sparked Texas drive to tailback Jerry Cook's 10-yard touchdown run and 7-3 lead. Then quarterback defensive back Duke Carlisle made interception at Aggies' 39-yard line, and Janun passed to end Tommy Lucas for 28 yards to set up tailback Tommy Force. Short. So, Friday, Northwestern beat Miami 29-7 with its number one ranking. Rose Bowl dreams now in ashes. Northwestern still was able to enjoy bowl-like trip to Miami. Highly anticipated air war never materialized between Hurricanes quarterback George Miller and Wildcats quarterback Tommy Myers, who completed just 4 of 11 passes. But Myers, however, made all his connections count for a pivotal 87 yards, as end Paul Flatley grabbed 3 catches for 81 yards to position 2 touchdowns. Northwestern proudly rushed for 232 yards on 57 carries, spotting Miami's 7-0 lead on halfback Nick Ryder's touchdown. Nick Ryder's touchdown at end opening 63-yard drive. Northwestern ground out drives of 92, 44 yards for short touchdown dives for sub-fullback Steve Murphy. Wildcats' short trip to Murphy's second touchdown came with defensive tackle Joe Zecchio threw Ryder for loss on a 4th down run for Miami's 46-yard line. Defensive back Dick McCauley made 2 fumble recoveries and snatched both Myers' misfired missiles in second half. And these turnovers helped catapult Wildcats to kicker Pete Stamison 22-yard field goal and 2 more touchdowns. Dartmouth beat Princeton 38-27. This proud defense of Dartmouth, led by center linebacker Don McKinnon, had seen its glorious 1.29 points per game scoring mark smudged by Cornell's 21 points in 28-21 Ivy title clincher on prior Saturday. It was hard pressed in this wide open season finale. Suddenly, explosive Princeton took 14-7 lead in the second quarter when sophomore standout fullback Cosmo Akavasi spurted 46 yards to score. Tigers used Fabulous 33-yard interception for a touchdown return of wingback defensive back Jim Rockenbach to lead 21-15 onto Big Green. Quarterback Billy King tied it at 21-21 at halftime. On 4th down, reverse field 7-yard scramble to left flank. Indians 3 scores in the first half came on excursions of 72, 73, and 68 yards. Trailing 31-21 after King scored his last touchdown in third quarter, and kicker Bill Wellstead added 25-yard field goal. Tigers got it back in on Rockenbach's second interception touchdown, 26 yards return in fourth quarter. So Dartmouth campaigned a valuable 87 yards to clinch it at 38-27 as Cloud wound down. So the slender slasher halfback Tom Spagenberg ran for 208 yards for 29 carries and 2 touchdowns, and personally contributed 10 carries for 74 yards to drive. The Dartmouth enjoyed its first undefeated season since the national championship season of 1925. They went 8-0. Other scores was Penn State beat Pittsburgh 16-0. Duke beat North Carolina 16-14. Kentucky beat Tennessee 12-10. Ohio State shut out Michigan 28-0. Wisconsin beat Minnesota by a score of 14-9. This was a battle of two top 5 teams. And Wisconsin clinched the Big Ten title. Number 3 Wisconsin beat number 5 Minnesota 14 to nothing. 14-9. Missouri, Kansas in the tie 3-3. Oklahoma, the number 8 team in the country, beat Nebraska 34-6. Arizona beat Arizona State 20-17. And USC defeated the University of UCLA 14-3. Southern California, the number 1 team in the country, beat UCLA 14-3. So let's get into the bowl games. Scores like Missouri beat Georgia Tech 14-10. Florida beat Penn State 17-7. That win launched the SEC to a 4-1 bowl season record. Florida over Penn State 17-7. Alabama beat Oklahoma in a shutout 17-0. Alabama beat Oklahoma 17-0. Mississippi beat Arkansas 17-13. Louisiana State beat Texas in a shutout 13-0. Let's get into this game. I believe this was the Cotton Bowl. Favorite Texas was in for surprise from LSU, which had completed only 40 passes all season. An unusual appearance in purple jerseys. Tigers also figuratively changed their stripes by going to air for 13 of 21 for 133 yards, riding passing arms of quarterbacks Len Amedee and Jimmy Field. Kicker Amedee sent LSU to locker room at halftime on up note with field goal with 8 seconds left for a 3-0 lead. Longhorns suffered 5 turnovers, most critical being tailback Jerry Cook's fumble of second half kickoff at only 37-yard line. So on 3rd and 9, Field squirmed away from heavy rush to scramble 22 yards for touchdown for a 10-0 lead. Amedee, who would become offensive coordinator at Texas in 1980s, had touchdown pass nullified, but kicked clinching field goal. Steers halfback punter Ernie Coy showed well with 72-yard punt and a 46.8 yards average. All right, that's the bowl season right there against the game of the year, which is the Rose Bowl between number 1 Southern California versus number 2 Wisconsin. Forgot to mention what took place the week that was of December 1st. Number 1 USC closed out a perfect season by beating Notre Dame 25-0 in Los Angeles for a 10-0 record. Number 3 Mississippi beat Mississippi State 13-6 at home to close with a 9-0 record. And number 5 Alabama beat Auburn 38-0. So the top 5 rounded out the season. Had USC at number 1, number 2 Wisconsin, number 3 Mississippi, number 4 Texas, and number 5 Alabama. That was the top 5 conclude the season. So let's get into the game of the year, which was the Rose Bowl between number 1 Southern California versus number 2 Wisconsin. Meeting was first square off number 1 and number 2 ranked teams since 1946 at the time, and it would become famous for its conclusion in Pasadena's Gathering Gloom. True offensive shootouts and big games were so rare during these years, even in wide-open NFL, that 1963 Rose Bowl spectacular became legendary. In losing, Wisconsin quarterback Ron Vanderkellen, who shattered Rose Bowl passing yards record, gained more notoriety than winning number 1 Southern California team, who was crowned in December as the AP National Champion. Vanderkellen's fourth quarter heroics took on surrealistic quality as growing gloom of Pasadena dusk descended on field, masking view for fans and clouding TV image. Trickery had opened scoring for USC as quarterback Pete Beathard, fullback holder, and field goal holder, stood up and pitched 13-yard touchdown to Ron Butcher on a tackle-eligible play. Wisconsin retaliated with Vanderkellen hitting All-American end Pat Richter to set up. Fullback Ralph Courig's short touchdown run. All-American linebacker Damon Bain picked off first of 3 interceptions for Trojans to create touchdown. Halfback Ron Heller swept 25 yards for 21-7 USC lead at halftime. At halftime, Coach John McKay drew up slant pass for the end Hal Betso, which he suggested would baffle the Badgers linebackers. So play went 57 yards for touchdown to open third quarter, and USC mounted a 42-14 lead as fans headed for the exits with 14 minutes left. Vander Kellen related later that he told his team, "Let's at least go out and look respectable. The whole game could have been a shambles. We decided to get a touchdown or two and see what happened." Vander Kellen started Wisconsin's comeback with 3 completions, and halfback Lou Holland threaded through USC line for 13-yard touchdown run. It was 42-21 with 11:40 left, and McKay said, "I still didn't think we could lose unless we did something silly," which we did. Fullback Ben Wilson's fumble at own 29-yard line allowed Vander Kellen to hit Richter, who caught 11 passes for 163 yards at 10-yard line, and halfback Gary Kroner in end zone. USC led 42-28 with 8:32 left as the Trojans refired its offense but lost ball and downs at Badgers' 33-yard line. So Vander Kellen hit Richter 3 straight times to the 4-yard line, but Troy halfback defensive back Willie Brown hounded Richter in the end zone and made an interception, critical defensive play as it turned out. USC was stopped, and guard and center Larry Sugosby fired punt snap into end zone, and punter Ernie Jones made good play to accept safety with 2:40 to go as it nearly became Badgers' touchdown. At the Trojans' free kick, Richter caught touchdown pass at end with a 43-yard drive to make the score 42-37. So after another punt by Jones was forced, the curtain came down on Gallup, Wisconsin, before it could run another play. Vander Kellen finished with 33 for 48 for 401 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. So that includes a look at the whole season of 1962, from the bowl season and the game of the year between number 1 USC versus number 2 Wisconsin. The whole season is concluded. Now as you look at the top performance formula for 1962, that was Mississippi, that was number 1. The 1962 top performance record, number 1 was Miami. The 1962 out of conference records, the conference that had the best record was the AAW conference. They had a 17-9-2 record with a 6.29 percentage and 2-0 in the bowl season. Let's look at the 1962 individual statistical leaders. The running back that led the nation in rushing was Preacher Pilot of New Mexico State. He led the nation in attempts with 208, rushing yards with 1,247 yards. Passing yards, Terry Baker was the nation's leader in passing yards with 1,738 passing yards with a 55.2 percentage completion. Receiving yards, Vern Burke of Oregon State was number 1. He had 69 catches for 1,007 yards. So let's look at the 1962 consensus All-American team. At end, Hal Betso of Southern California, Pat Richter of Wisconsin. The tackles, Bobby Bell, Minnesota, Jim Dunaway, Mississippi. The guards, Jack Sherko, Northwestern, Johnny Treadwell, Texas. The center, Leroy Jordan, Alabama. The backfield, Terry Baker, Oregon State, Mel Renfro, Oregon, Jerry Stoffel, Louisiana State, and George Sames, Michigan State. The other All-American choices at end, Conrad Hitchler, Missouri, Dave Robinson, Penn State. Tackles, Steve Burnett, Oregon, Don Brum, Purdue, Fred Miller, Louisiana State. The guards, Damon Bain, Southern California, Gene Berry, Duke, and Leon Cross, Oklahoma, and Rufus Guthrie, Georgia Tech. The centers, Don McKinnon of Dartmouth. The backfield had Glenn Griffin, Mississippi, George Meyer of Miami, Billy Moore, Arkansas, and Tommy Myers of Northwestern, Eldon Forty of Brigham Young, and Dave Hopman of Iowa State, and Roger Kochman of Penn State. So let's look at the 1962 Heisman Trophy vote. Terry Baker, the senior quarterback of Oregon State, was the top vote getter. He won the Heisman with 707 votes, followed by Jerry Stovall, the senior halfback of Louisiana State, finished second with 618 votes. Bobby Bell, senior tackle of Minnesota, finished with 429 votes. Leroy Jordan, senior center, linebacker of Alabama, finished with 321 votes. And George Meyer, Jr., quarterback of Miami, finished 5th with 284 votes. Other major awards that was won during the 1962 season: Maxwell Player of the Year award went to Terry Baker. Outland Lineman Trophy winner went to Bobby Bell. Walter Camp Back Award went to Jerry Stovall. Newt Rockne Lineman went to Ends Pat Richter, senior end of Wisconsin. And the AFCA Coach of the Year was John McKay of Southern California. So that concludes a look at the 1962 college football season. So already concluded, it's over with. Hopefully you enjoyed. Whenever you get a chance to watch the video, you'll be able to check out the whole season, the recap of the 1962 college football season. But this is the conclusion of the 1962 college football season. I went over the games that were played on November 22nd to November 24th, 1962, including the games that were played on December 1st, including the bowl season, including the number 1 versus number 2 matchup between USC and Southern California. Southern California, Wisconsin, number 1 versus number 2. And then I went over the stats and who won the Heisman and things like that, who led the nation rushing, receiving, and passing yards, things of that nature, and etc. Everything that I talked about. So if you enjoyed that, tomorrow I'll be talking about the overview of the 1963 college football season, 1963, and go over what took place in week 1 as far as that standpoint is concerned. So that concludes this video. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the channel. This is Rashad Mitchell. Until then, talk to you tomorrow.